Hello, my fellow human beings, and welcome to episode 21. We're legal of the Best Blessed Life. I'm your best host, Kristen, and today's topic is believe in yourself and all that you are. Or are you what you eat? Think about that, ponder for a minute. We'll get back to it. But before we get started, I want to thank you all for watching. Please continue to watch, comment, share, like, subscribe, ring the bell. Please pass them along to anyone you know they can help. Spread them out. We need to spread them out far and wide. That being said, I want to mention the few things we have going on. I will still advertise your small business on a coffee cup. If you know where I live, you can mail it to me. If you know someone I know, you can have them give you my address and mail it to me. I am promising you I'm going to work on some way to get them shipped to me. And just think, I could be drinking out of your coffee cup right now. It would be the best cup of coffee I've ever had. I'll drink out of it the whole episode. It'll be so delicious. Yum, yum. All right. The second thing is we have two challenges going on. We have the Moolah for Maui, or your workout savings account. Whatever you're saving up for to pay yourself to work out, whatever that money comes to when you reach your goal, you get to buy yourself something that will be a happy reminder of your achievement. Okay, and then this other challenge is 21 or 365 days of gratefulness, and we're doing 3 things we're grateful for every day, rain or shine, good or bad. I just read it's good to do it when you first wake up, within the first 30 minutes, but I have to have coffee first, and I am grateful for coffee. Grateful. Okay, then we have our positive word of the day, which is in the title, and I picked believe. Though faith or confidence in the existence or worth of something or someone. I do believe I did something similar to believe, if not the actual word believe, but I'm kind of using it as a reminder to myself to believe in myself. And I'll get into that more later, but I want to talk about the beginning part of the quote, or beginning part of the title for the episode, which is believe in yourself and all that you are. It's actually a quote from a man named Christian D. Larson. My maiden name is Kristen E. Larson, so I think I vibed there somehow. But it spoke to me otherwise as well. All that you are is the part that I'm working on right now. But to explain who Christian D. Larson is, he was part of a new movement called the New Thought Movement, which, according to Wikipedia, also was called Higher Thinking, and is a spiritual movement which started in the United States in the 19th century. And it was a kind of interaction, or they thought it to be, they thought it to be an interaction between, I want to get it right, thought, belief, and consciousness. I always have to say that one slow. In the human mind. The totality of real things and the true human selfhood is divine and thought to be a force for good. It's also considered right thinking, and it has a healing effect, or they thought it to have a healing effect, and it's also called the Mind Cure movement. Okay, wouldn't mind curing a little bit of this hot mess. Was that good or what? Okay, anyway, sorry about that. But I had to put my 2 cents in by adding to the quote, are you what you eat? And I will explain that. And what are you what you eat means to me is that I believe everything I'm being fed. Meaning I believe the negativity about me or you when they, meaning anybody else but yourself, because who can know you better than yourself, doubt you. Why is it then you automatically doubt yourself? So what if one person doesn't agree with what you're saying? There are how many people in the world? You can't tell me there's not one other person on this planet that doesn't think similarly to the way you think. I mean, you have them in your lives because they think similarly to you, right? We don't, or better yet, I want to explain it in that we bring out a part of a person that we vibe with, so the connection is there. It's kind of like two little extension cords or the little ET thing, you know? When you're around a certain person, you might be a different person with them because of the similar connections that you make on a purely, I don't want to say superficial, but just face value, that first initial connection. Then you dig deeper, you find that you vibe. So then you make more connections, right? So then you're telling them more about your life, and it gets more intertwined. And those people either stay in your life because they vibe with what you believe continuously, or they leave because the connection somewhere has been broken. Does that make sense? I hope so. I plotted it out a little better. I am actually refilming because it didn't make sense when I watched it back. So, but I want to also make you a visual in that we all are made up of, our own beliefs, our own thoughts, our own opinions, our own whatever. But we all also have our own heart feelings, or I don't want to call them love feelings, but kindness feelings. You connect with a person, you kind of get that internal vibe sometimes, not always, but you hope that those connections are the ones that you can explain more of your inner core, but you never fully release everything. It might scare off everybody. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Nobody wants to go up here. But don't doubt what you know about yourself, like I said, and you know everything. Well, as much as one person can know about themselves. Believe it or not, I do feel like because we only use a certain part or a certain percentage of our brain, I do feel like there are things that we're missing within ourselves that if we sat down and really thought about it, we could discover. But it's kind of a scary thought process, isn't it? But I like to believe, there's that word again, that is the case. But I also said, this might be another synonym of another word I've used, or maybe I've used the word believe before. I realize there's only 21 episodes, but a lot of things going in and out of this mouth, and who knows what I've said. I could watch back, but I'm almost thinking it's coming back up because I need to remind myself to believe in myself. Because I want to teach my kids to believe in themselves, and if I'm not proving that can happen by doing it for me, I don't know that they would fully grasp that anything is possible, barring anything illegal or immoral, obviously. But I'm reading about so many people that I didn't know did so many amazing things lately that I just think that I believe that I can do just as well in a lot of things as other people. I don't want my kids to feel like any kind of authoritative figure or somebody is better than them. We're all human beings. We all feel something. So I want them to know that regardless of who the person is or where they come from, that kindness comes first, and we should all just put our best foot forward every day and just be good to people. But I thought if I wanted to believe in myself a little more, I thought maybe you would believe in me a little more if I gave you a little bit more background on myself. Oh, my bunny's so cute, sorry. A little background on myself and kind of tell you a little. I know I told you a little bit in the first episode, but and this is where I'm going to talk about like this stuff a little bit. I'm going to start with where I grew up. It was a really small town. There was only like 1,400 people in the whole town. I actually went to a high school where they bussed in people from several different towns in order to have about, I think there was 250 students total when I went there. That was an intimidating place, even though it's a small town. There was always this feeling like I didn't fit in. So I don't know if I was truly upset when we moved. I know it was a surprise. And I went from living in a town with 1,400 people to going to a school with 1,400 people. So that was like having my whole town in one building. And to me, that was the first culture shock of my life. I mean, I felt like I was always a small town gal, but not necessarily like all the time. Like I liked visiting bigger towns and seeing interesting places, but always liked going back to the small town. But we moved to a town, oh gosh, I don't even know how many were in the town. 26,000? But let's just talk about the high school life. So we moved the summer before my junior year of high school. So I completed my last 2 years at this school. I will tell you that the small town school that I went to was actually harder. I feel like I got a better education. It's definitely more in depth and more, I don't know. It was more one-on-one, to be honest. That was probably the main thing, was that we got more focus from teachers, and every teacher knew who you were, basically. I felt like it. Anyway, because they taught a couple different things, usually. But then we moved. It kind of took me a while to adapt, and then some things about it were just like, oh yeah, this is okay. From there, I just kind of, I went to college, got kicked out of college. Well, not kicked out, but funked out. Yeah. Was not where I wanted to be, but, I mean, I wanted to be in school. But then realized I could work for a living and make money, and started working in retail. Met my husband 30 years ago this year. Can't believe it. And we'll be married 25. So we're celebrating two great things at once. And my son's graduating from college this year. Holy crap. It just keeps getting better and better. And anyway, back to reality. Working in retail. Then we moved. We got engaged. Then we moved to California for a little bit. I think I lived there a year and a half, maybe almost 2 years. In that time frame, I worked for a retail company that sent me to Denver for training, and I will tell you that I love Denver, and I'm so happy that Jordan is going to school there. Anyway, I fell in love with Denver, so I was a Bears fan growing up. My parents didn't watch my mother watched football in the beginning because Walter Payton, loved watching him. But I got to Denver and I really vibed with, I don't know, I just love it there. I can't explain what it is. There's just something about it. It must be in the air. The altitude anyway. So I made them my football team, which didn't make my husband very happy, but anyway, so that explains the hat. So I don't know if many of you know that about me. I know some people know it. Some people don't like it. But I could say the same thing about the Bears. Now, I'm not being mean. I like the Bears. I watch all football teams. I am equally, but I root for my Broncos. So just putting that out there. Football is football, and I will tell you, any type of football, college, pro, I love. So, I don't care which two teams. I don't care if they're rivals. I hate the fantasy football thing. Sorry, guys. It's not because it's taking time. It's just, I don't know. I feel like it divides you about how you root for things. I mean, I think you still root for your team, but I don't know. I don't mind it, but I mind it. Does that make any sense? I'm not trying to piss anybody off here. I'm just explaining how I feel about it. I like it. I like the aspect that you watch things and you watch people and you get stats on people, so it's more in depth that way. So I think I like it from that perspective. But I also feel like you lose the perspective of watching a whole one football game because you want to check how your other players are doing. That's all. No offense. Anyway. Then we moved back from California because several reasons, but mainly it was very, very expensive, and the company I worked for went out of business. So I would say within 6 months after we got married, we moved back. So we got married in California. I skipped that part, sorry. We got married in California. It was beautiful. It was awesome. And then we moved back. And then I worked for a couple other retail places. No, I only worked for one, actually. Got pregnant with my son. And then, 3 years later, I mean, there's a whole lot of things I could fill in between there. But I'm just trying to give you a little bit of background for you to understand kind of my mentality about life. And just, I have small town vibes, but I also can vibe with the big city for bits and pieces. I want to be close to things, but I don't want to be close or that close. Does that make any sense? Love animals. Want to live on a farm. I want a cow so freaking bad. I can't even stand it. I'm building my menagerie. I don't know. Anyway, that being said, and talking about my animals, that just kind of segued without me even meaning to. The reason for the bandana. It's actually bandanas that I actually asked for Christmas to give to my dog. But then I thought, why couldn't I see rabbits wearing all kinds of stuff. He doesn't mind having it on him for a little bit, but I also felt that they said they vibe on things that smell like you, so here we are. I wore the dog's one for a little bit. He's not as picky. He doesn't care. He's got it on right now. Could care less. But the bunny, who's in the spotlight over there, but you can't even see him, lets me lay it on him because it's like a blanket. But I can see why I wouldn't want to have it feel like it was tied around his neck. But I want him to be comfortable with me too. And if things smell like me, I feel like he is more and more becoming attached to me and understanding that I am somebody that is not going to hurt him. And I'm hoping that once I get this solidified, I can start getting him comfortable. He's getting more comfortable with the clicky-clack, tippity-tabbies of the dog's nails on the floor. Does still freeze. He's still in the frozen position right now. I don't know if he knows I'm talking about him, but anyway, that's the reason for the bandana. I'm just trying to make him feel as welcome as possible, and I'm also using it as a tool for my old lovely dog upstairs who's too afraid to come down, but might be in our favor for right now. We'll see. We're gonna work him down here slowly but surely, and in a controlled environment. I'm pacing myself because I know this is going to be a relationship that, if I take my time, will be something that we both benefit from. I mean, I already have, truly already have. Okay. So, there's a little bit of background on me. I don't know if that helps me or hurts me, but there you go. Love sports. Baseball. Love baseball. And I'm really loving college hockey. Oh my gosh, I love watching college. But we don't get to watch University of Denver that often. So don't really get too many college hockey games where I can find them, but I try to watch them as much as I can. Okay. So I continue. I continue to believe in myself. And it is because, and I'm reading again, I know that I'm doing something that means something to me. And then, hopefully, because it shows to you that I'm doing something that is not only helping me to work out things, but I'm hoping helps people work out things. I just need it to resonate with one other person and have that person just believe in themselves to just get started. That's all you need. You just need to believe in yourself just for that first step. And then when you realize you've accomplished that first step, you're like, man, that was great, and I did it, and I can do the next one. But achieve small baby steps, because that is where we get the most fulfillment. If you're trying to reach a big goal and there's nothing in between there to point you the way, you're going to make missteps. Things are going to happen. You're going to have backlashes. But when you have achievements along the way, you can look and say, I achieved that once. I can do it again. But when you have slips and there's nothing to catch you when you fall, kind of, in the big plan, you just jump. And spontaneity is good, but when you're trying to achieve a goal, you need organization. And I'm learning that, and that is probably the biggest thing that is kicking my ass right now, is organization. I try to prep, and then I do it, and then it's... whew. Anyway. I want there to be something on this channel that makes you want to see things from a different perspective, right? That is what I'm doing this for for whatever reason, you might get my perspective, but you might open up and think, okay, well, that's her perspective. I see it from this direction, but maybe I can turn it around and just for a second, just go, okay, no, I don't, or yes, that's always a possibility. But don't poo-poo it just because it doesn't vibe with what you're thinking right now. Let's face it, we change our minds. If we're not changing our minds, we're not changing, I feel like. And if we're not changing, we're not evolving. And then, hello? Oh, that got off on a little bit of a thing, didn't it? Okay. The other thing I want to talk about is, I talked a little bit on the last episode about a blog I'm starting. And I will give you the date once I've solidified, I'm reading this again, my first posting. It will not be the same as this channel. It does not have the same name. But it will be a different perspective. That seems to be my MO, if you will. Giving you a different perspective. But it's going to be really different, I think. Anyway, I don't want it to be an extension of this channel, but there might be some interaction between the two things. It might just happen that it falls that way because of what I'm blogging about or what I'm talking about on this episode, but I try for the most part to give you a perspective on this my perspective on this channel. From the blog's perspective, it might be from somebody else's perspective. Anyway, I was talking about background. I forgot to mention that there's more background to this channel than you probably think, because this channel has truly been years in the making. If you talk to one of my friends, I think it's 3 or 4, might be more. It is not something I slapped together overnight. Some episodes are, I'll agree with you on that one. Or something I do in my spare time. Because let's face it, I have all spare time. But now the organizational thing is kicking in. I'm giving myself a schedule. It's helping. Yeah, scheduling helps. But the blog has the spontaneous aspect, right? Even though I write things down, I change things around, run it through Grammarly, spell check, all those things. I know spell check, or Grammarly has both. Everything you can imagine. Okay? Because I don't see myself as a writer. Sometimes I say that too fast. But I believe that something has come to me, for me, from so many different directions. And I feel blessed because this endeavor is kind of an interesting journey for me. So I feel blessed to have friends and family that have truly had my back, supported me, posted, shared, liked, subscribed. Please continue to do so. You guys are awesome. I love you guys ever so much. You know who you are, you friends and family out there that has been my backbone for the last 21 episodes. That's not 21 weeks though, I skipped a few. I want to write down what I wrote about all y'all. I feel blessed to have friends and family that help with all my endeavors by sharing my posts and stories, and I'm truly grateful to all of you. And I hope you all know how wonderful I think you are. I think and believe it or not, I will get to each and every one of you by name. Eventually. Don't worry about it. I promise. But I'm here to talk to you about positive women in my life. And I want to honor my two grandmothers today. I found them both to be two of the, I say, strongest women I've ever met, for two completely different strengths or, yeah. Yes. And some of them might seem old-fashioned to you, but when I think back about my childhood and things that made me happy, these were 70s and 80s. They might seem old-fashioned, right? But I want to first honor my Grandma Stevens, who is my mom's mom, obviously. I just talked about my maiden name earlier. What can I say about this lady? I learned that sometimes silence speaks volumes. Just recently, especially. If you knew me when I was younger, more. I know I still talk a lot, but... And if you had me as a personal trainer, you know I talk a lot. Oh, boy. That sometimes you let the person have their say. What do I mean? I think I learned that she had, and this is just based on my interactions with these ladies, that I feel like, I'm going to read this again because I know my thoughts are all over the place. I feel like as I look back when I spent lots of summers with them on both sides, both grandmas, there is something to be said for observation. This is speaking to the first grandma again. And I feel like I'm understanding more about Grandma Stevens every day. She was always kind, loving, and had all our favorite stuff when we came to visit. And was teaching me so much more before I even realized it. She just had all the foods we loved. She made the best banana bread. Oh my golly, that was so good. She sent it to me in college. It was gone in seconds, I think. I don't know. It was just, she just had this kind, gentle, subdued side that was just comforting and endearing and very special to me. And I want to then talk about my Grandma Larson. Hi, bud. It's okay. You can come out. I know it's bright out. Sorry, Grandma Larson. She was widowed when I was about 10, I think. I think I just turned 10. 9 or 10. So I remember my grandpa, but I remember her most of all. One, even when he was alive, he was the silent observer who built lots of wooden furniture for us kids. My Grandpa Stevens as well was a great woodworker, and I have great, beautiful things from both of them. Um, but I remember my grandma as one of the original badasses. I just thought she was just no, she just was fearless to me. Um, she would say my grandma Stevens was her nice grandma, and she was my mean grandma. And I would say that that's not the case. She came off abrupt, or some people would say loud. I'm loud. I feel like not abrupt, not tactless, just forthcoming, open, uh, diarrhea of the mouth. I don't know. But I found it to be so powerful. She just would stand up and speak her mind in church. Anyway, okay. So, she came as abrupt and loud, but what you didn't know was she taught me to speak my mind. No filter sometimes. Sometimes bad. But also, she cooked to excess too. I think they both just loved making food for their family, and that's how they gathered around, and I agree, I get it. I love the community aspect of eating together and getting to know one another. I love that. She taught me to knit and crochet. She let me put makeup on her and put rollers in her hair. Oh my gosh, we used to pull the crap out of her hair. And she'd go, I don't care, my head's made of pigskin. I remember that so vividly. She used to have this brush that I swear to God I was like digging into her scalp for not any trying to be mean, but just I guess didn't realize it. And then I looked and saw that her whole scalp was red. And she goes, it doesn't matter. My head's made out of pigskin. I would pull on her hair. And now I feel the same way about my hair. Anyway. She would take us to Woolworth, which is a 5 and dime drugstore from back in the day, and buy the huge Hershey candy bars, or there's the Cadbury, I think it's Cadbury, Carmelo one. And oh my gosh, sometimes she would let us eat that before dinner because her saying was, you have to eat dessert first because you never know if you'll make it through dinner. I think I said that right. But yeah, she just was fearless. She wanted to jump out of an airplane. My cousin joined the Air Force. She begged him. I don't know how many times I think she told us she has asked them if I can jump out of a plane. I think, or I'm making that up. I don't know. Let me know. Let me know if I'm making that up. Anyway. But they both taught me that we are with the people that balance us out and let us be who we are. And they were almost our exact opposites, probably. For the most part. Yes, we pick people that have similar likes as ours, but the opposites that attract are opposites that attract us because we need to learn those things about ourselves the way you already learned them. Like, I needed to learn to be silent and sit back and observe, and I need to let other people speak their minds now, like I said last episode. So, but I feel that balance, we're matched up with people that are supposed to give us that balance. And I have to say that I remember these things because of the people that stepped forward and gave me guidance. And I'm truly grateful for both these women because one taught me to be quiet. I would say shut up and listen. And one taught me to shout from the rooftops all of my convictions. Amen. With that being said, that is the episode for today. I want to thank you all for watching. Again, thank you ever so much. Please continue to watch, comment, share, like, subscribe. Please pass them along. And I love you all dearly. This channel means more to me than you'll ever know. And I'm so appreciative that you guys just keep the love going. And as always, please have a good day. Go do great things. Be your best self. And please live your best blessed life. Thanks for watching.